Get ready for the next battle, ladies and gentlemen. Say themselves in between. My name is SPF Drago, coming at you live here at the CCA to bring you our bracket series of our second circuit event here at the CCA. And of course, I'm joined by my very good best friend here today.
Hello, I am Fufu. Again, it's such a pleasure to be here on the mic with you here, Dark. And as you said, hey, don't laugh at me just yet. But we are here bringing you the first round. That round 1 of 16? Question mark. We're here with Division 5, but we're trying to say bringing you a best of 3 set. And it looks like we do have our teams here.
Of course, our first match here in the bracket series, CSULB White, California State University Long Beach, for those of you who don't know, versus Heidelberg. I struggle with the name. Heidelberg University Esports here on Division 5. And as a quick rundown of the breakdown of our event, if this is your first time viewing, folks, here, we just went through our Swiss stages to get people put together in the proper standings, and now we're in the bracket single elimination series here. And at this point, this is when a lot of the points everyone wants to really start playing for those points here, because the circuit series, there's circuits throughout this different circuit events throughout the season, and this current one we're on our first split second circuit event, and so you want to try and get as many points as you can.
The stakes are definitely higher here on the elimination bracket, and I feel like both of these teams are not going to want to give up so early. So I'm really curious to see how close this set really can be. It is our first round of single elim, so typically this is like the type of area where you'd expect, your 3-0s, but I'm hoping for the game 3 because I'm hungry for content, Dark.
Yeah, no. A great showing here at CCA. These teams are always putting on a great show here, and as we're kicking things off, we're going to see exactly what these two teams are bringing here today. A lot of standout picks here: Clash Blaster, the Wiper, the new Wiper, and the Jet Squelcher on the other side.
This is a very interesting set of weapons that we have on the field here, Dark. And I'm honestly, I'm curious about the interesting double backline pick there from Heidelberg as well. But I think it's not going to affect them that much. Actually, no, unless Bucket has something to say about it. Nope, not anymore, as Heidelberg is able to actually get that first major push going on the board, quickly approaching this second checkpoint.
Yeah, first checkpoint on this map is pretty much non-existent, and you're going to be trying to fight for that second checkpoint pretty early on here. Heidelberg using the tri-strikes to clear out the tower and keep the momentum going. We see a good pick off of Seppi here against Bucket to keep this tower in place. That second checkpoint might be going down over quickly here, as there's just constant one-for-one trades, and Heidelberg clears that second checkpoint.
Clears that second checkpoint. Indeed, it is quickly looking towards a potential knockout if they can keep that momentum going. Slowly taking members down. CSULB White here, and they continue to move forward, leaving just that brush alive here on White's team. I think we are just in very well knockout territory.
Yeah, the snowball is definitely building up here. Heidelberg wants to try and end this here and now, but CSU does manage to clean it up a little bit and get some semblance of control as they're moving the tower to mid. Now Moon trying to see if he can get a pick here, slowly encroaching against Heidelberg to try and get anything going, but unfortunately it's stopped by the Ink Mess, and unfortunately gets picked up, and 2 down for the CSU. Heidelberg is back in the driver's seat once again.
Indeed. And I think, despite CSULB bringing it back a little bit towards that neutral position, Heidelberg continued to have so much of the field in their control, and they're able to just, retake that tower, just continue that momentum that they were going with before. And, they have no more checkpoints that they need to get through. So if they're able to just make the space and, get this tower moving, this, again, knockout potential is still.
Yeah, no, things as you head to that third checkpoint, getting past that third checkpoint, that's when things can really spiral out of control really fast here. So it's a big shout out to CSU for getting things back in order here before things spiraled out of control for them, as Heidelberg was trying to close this game out here. But now Metallica using the 10 missiles to try and clear some space, push Heidelberg back as much as they can. 2 down for Heidelberg in the process, make that 3 down for Heidelberg. Back out that wipeout. CSULB is looking strong here as they get to this first checkpoint, headed to the second checkpoint.
Oh my god, no, yeah, and this is their first wipeout, and the first wipeout of the game, period, I think. And so this is just a potential for a lot of points here. 3 down on the side of Heidelberg. I think they're finding their opportunity here, Dark, just quickly approaching the second checkpoint. Definitely going to be clearing that soon. I do think that Rapid's approaching here on the left side, but, quickly getting zooted out, potentially pushing back. No, that push is going to be quickly stopped as fast as it started, and, CSULB White is forced back once more.
Yeah, a good push though, nonetheless. Getting those 2 checkpoints out of the way, even though you are still at a bit of a point deficit, is very good here. But now Heidelberg is trying to get those things going once again. We see a good pick from Jammy to get things started off as another 1 player goes down. Make that 2 down for Jammy as Heidelberg is running away with the tower here. Things can get really out of control here if CSU isn't acting fast enough here. The Kraken on the tower from Bobby J. He's going to get a clear, smooth victory to that final checkpoint. Take this first game.
A smooth victory, and definitely Cha-Cha sliding their way into that final checkpoint with a Kraken on the tower while they're at it. And, very, very dominant game there from Heidelberg Esports. Incredible first game, especially on an interesting map that is undertone. I hate it at the same time. So very, very good job there.
A good job, man. As we're heading and waiting for the second game here, a quick reminder, we are in a best of 3 rather than a play all 3. So whoever wins this next game will be moving on further into the bracket, and the loser will be unfortunately sent home this early into the bracket stage. It sucks to be the first ones to be knocked out here, but someone has to go home at this point. And even if you're fighting tooth and nail for that victory, it's just the fact of the matter is one of these teams are about to be going home here.
Yeah, and I think it's also a battle of stamina because these teams just came out of their Swiss as well. So going into the single limb, we can't do double limb because we'd be here all day, like be real. So single limb makes the most sense. But yeah, the stakes are definitely a lot higher in this type of elimination bracket. So I think this is even more of a reason for CSULB to really, hit that mental reset and figure out a strategy that will take Heidelberg. I see your problem, Dark here. Heidelberg Esports out.
Yeah, no, I mean, me and you, we're Mexican. We're gonna struggle with a word like that. It's
okay. Listen, I've been around that's not even German. I can't even say that.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's not.
Now go on. Continue.
No. I've been back at Dapple. I used to stream a lot with some of the more. Are they German? I think they're German. I think they're Catholic. I don't know. We're German. And occasionally, we're going to be like, this is how you say this. And they'll be like, yes. Yes, Brownie. So I'm like, oh, it looks familiar. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, girl. All right. Man, you're putting me in whatever. All right, sure. You're bullying me 2 seconds in here, man. We just started this cast. Bro said,
But speaking of familiarity, we're going to a rather familiar map mode here. Splatoon's Mahi Mahi Resort as our second game of this set, and Mahi Mahi Zones. It's kind of weird, the water level drops around halfway through the game, so really gonna be that first part of the game when water level's still up is gonna be really awkward. But if you can get past that, that's when the game really can start opening up for you.
Indeed, and I think this is just such a good map for these teams to really play. I love Mahi Mahi, and I think it definitely tests multiple aspects of a team. That being said, that double Inger comp from Heidelberg is not going anywhere, seeing that Squall Trigger and Heavy Edit, but we are going to be seeing a switch to Blobber from CSULB White. And seeing these two teams open, this is only going to go one way or another. We'll see where this ends up, Dark.
Yeah, I mean, CSULB is the first ones to lose their first players here, but Heidelberg also lose another one of their players here. It's a bit of an equal playing ground between these two teams, with Blobber just trying to do its best to paint whatever it can, using those blobs to get to around any corner it can. And Heidelberg was able to get away from some points here, but no one's able to get a good solid foundation here just yet. But make that 3 down for Heidelberg, and CSULB is able to get this first opening in their favor.
First opening indeed. Huge points here for CSULB White here, as they are able to move Heidelberg way back. That was essentially a knockout with that last player jumping out, but seeing that hammer quickly punished there from this Viper as well. Again, some really good holds here from CSULB White, and definitely an opportunity to get as many points as you can here on the
But the thing is here is now that the water level has dropped, there's a lot more room and a lot more space for Heidelberg to try and work with. And again, unfortunately, the Ultra Stamp gets canceled once again. Metallica is playing it out here in mid, but unfortunately getting caught by the suction bomb. And that's going to be a huge sweep for Heidelberg as they get what is practically a delayed wipeout here with Moon not narrowly avoiding that Ultra Stamp as they get this first zone hold.
We have that successful stamp coming out as well, but CSULB is going to be coming back swinging from their respawn points. Again, huge points and hold here from Heidelberg. Meanwhile, until they are maybe stopped here by CSULB White, 2 down on Heidelberg Esports, and I think that opportunity is coming back here for CSULB White. It feels like they are back at home, but still, that all-out action is not enough to actually split the zone at all, Bart.
No, the zone is still in a relatively neutral state right now. CSULB unfortunately still losing it out there, and Heidelberg is running away with these points. That big point differential that we saw at the beginning of the game has slowly been chipping away, getting smaller and smaller. And now we're at a 12-point differential here. It is not looking good for them as Heidelberg is just holding their ground strong, but 2 down for Heidelberg and CSULB flipping the zone. This is a good flip on their end to get things into some semblance of control.
Indeed, but it's not enough points to switch the lead out as SULB is back in control and still in the lead. It looks like a Seppi here is, accompanied by their swiper trying to, make a little bit of waves, but both of them getting taken out. It's looking a little bit rough here. Seeing that Storm out as well, just trying to make a little bit more space. There's a lot of attempts here to try and flip the zone, but, nothing is quite happening just yet.
Yeah, it's a bit of a game of footsies between these two teams to try and poke each other out, see who can get the first pick. 2-3 down on CSULB, 2 down for Heidelberg. It's still a relatively neutral game here, but Moon going down. The Metallica coming in with the wiper, see if they can try and clean up the zone, but Heidelberg still holding strong. The heavy Splatly just anchoring it down on the field before finally going down, and Metallica being able to use the tandem missiles to come in, try and clear out Heidelberg, and with a wipeout on top, CSULB takes the zone.
Yeah, with that amazing wipeout, you have the potential to really just get rid of these penalty points in one sweep. Heidelberg really has to come back swinging to make sure that they don't lose a significant amount more points, especially how close we are to games and points once these penalty points are out of the way. But Bobby J here with the hammer, making a lot of space and a lot of turf, getting taken out, not without a trade and a wipeout. And it's over. Heidelberg wiping out CSU White and taking the zone.
Yeah, this is a very strenuous part of the game now. There's about 1 minute remaining. Both of these two teams are relatively even in points, and Heidelberg has a very solid hold here. Their penalty points are almost good in a way. 2 down, 3 down for CSULB. Heidelberg just anchor it down on the zone, making an bastion of absolute defense, not letting CSULB get through, and that's going to be a lead swap, and now there's not going to be a lot of time left for CSULB to try and retake this here.
Yeah, and just like that, Heidelberg in the lead and very quickly approaching the knockout scenario. 10-6 left, less than 10 ticks left. And Bobby J saving the day on that snipe, able to take 2 members out. That is game. Heidelberg Esports with a 2-0 sweep.
A good opener for Heidelberg, 2-0 against CSULB. That's exactly how you want to start out your bracket series, and you're guaranteed some additional points here with this victory. So a good starting here out, but it's still not over for you just yet, Heidelberg. You still have a lot more tournament to get through, and unfortunately for CSULB, you will be going home here, but you still have some additional points for at least making it to the top 16.
Yeah, and CSULB White played really, really well, especially on the second match. It was very much down to the wire, bringing it down under 25 points each until, that last bit of knockout that we got. But Heidelberg, just a combination of really good plays there at the end, just really sealed the game in place and made sure that knockout was in their favor. But as you said, Heidelberg will be continuing along the bracket, and CSULB White will be going.
And with that being said, folks, that first best of 3 is out of the way. We'll be moving on to round 2 here in a little bit. But I do believe with how quick that game went, we're a little bit ahead right now. So it'll be some time before we get our next match ready. So don't go anywhere just yet. Get your food, snacks, and water. Take the rest of break if you need to. We'll be right back after this quick break.
falling, 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 'cause we'll start falling.